Hello guys, this is Paulina and today I'm going to be showing you guys the new Charlotte Tilbury Fire Rose quad. This is a very gorgeous quad. This is the box that came up with the quad. Very beautiful packaging. I just want to show you the inside first of all. And for the people that don't know, she always has this arrangement where she puts her prime shade here, her enhanced shade here, her smoky shade here, and her pop shade here. However, for this quad, she is doing a new formula for the pop shade, so this is not a pop shade, it's a super pop shade. So it is a new formula. This quad, it's limited edition, which I think it's very sad because I wish she can make it permanent. I hope she really does. However, you'll hear about my final thoughts at the end of the video. First, I'm going to be showing you guys the swatches of this quad, then comparisons, and then my makeup look. And again, at the end of the video, you'll see my final thoughts. So just keep on watching. First, we're going to the prime shade. Super creamy. Now we're going with the enhanced shade. Now we're going with the smoky shade. Her only matte on the quad. And finally, we're going with the new formula Super Pop shade. Okay, so now with the comparison. So I do have some things in mind that might be similar to this new quad. So the first quad that came to mind was the Bella Sofia quad, which is this one here. This is Bella Sofia. But now that I see them like next to each other, I really do not see any similarity. So I'm going to swatch the pop shades because I think that's the one that looks a little similar, but I'm not going to swatch the other ones because I just think they're very different. And maybe actually I'm going to swatch this one with this one here. So from the new quad, I'm going to take the enhanced shade, put it here on my palm, and now I'm going to be taking from Bella Sofia, I'm going to be taking this one, which is the smoky shade. I'm gonna swatch it next to that other one. So you guys can see the one from Bella Sofia is more brown, and the one from Fire Rose, it's more reddish, more berry in tone. Now I'm taking the Super Pop from the new Fire Rose quad. Swatch it on my hand here. And from the Bella Sofia quad, taking the pop shade and swatching it right here. Oops, let me do that. Do that again. Swatching it right here. So her older pop version, as you can see, is more of a topper. It's very sheer compared to the new Super Pop formula. Gonna try to build it up more, but it's just very sheer. It's a topper. Now this is Fire Rose with Exxagereyes. I'm going to be swatching the prime shades and the pop shade. So this is the Super Pop from Fire Rose. Now this is this pop from Exxagereyes. Again, it's much more sheer than the new Super Pop formula. And I'm going to swatch the prime shade this is from Exxagereyes, and the prime shade from the new Fire Rose quad. So the Fire Rose is much more pinky, while the Exxagereyes is very like champagne color, leaning towards silver, whitish. Very different. So Exxagereyes, it is not similar in my opinion at all. However, I'm also going to swatch both enhanced shades So this is the enhanced shade from Fire Rose, an enhanced shade from Exxagereyes. Nope, I think these quads look similar, but it's very, very different. Now here we have Fire Rose over here, and here we have the Queen of Glow. Going to be swatching the prime shades, which is this one and this one, and the mattes, even though this one looks more reddish in tone. So this is the prime shade in Fire Rose, prime shade of Queen of Glow. Queen of Glow is more gold, Fire Rose is pink, more pink-ish. Now we have the matte from Queen of Glow, and the matte from the Fire Rose quad. Much more red in tone. Looks very red there, but I don't think it actually comes out as red on the eye. The camera is picking it up more reddish, but I think it's a red brown. Now I'm going to be comparing the Fire Rose quad with the new Bejewelled Eyes to Hypnotize, I think it's called, yeah, palette. I'm going to be swatching this one with the enhanced shade from Fire Rose and this prime shade here, because I think it might look similar to the one from the quad. And these palettes have no pop shades, so I'm not going to compare any pop shades since there's nothing here, and there's no matte that I think it's similar to the one. Actually, I'm going to swatch this matte here. So this is the prime shade from the Fire Rose quad. Going to be swatching the prime shade now from the palette. Oh, so these are pretty similar. Oh, let's see if it focuses here. I think they're pretty similar. The one from the palette can be a little darker, but very similar nevertheless. I'm also going to be swatching this prime shade right here. Now that's much more lighter. Now this is the enhanced shade from Fire Rose, and I'm going to be swatching that dark shimmery brown from the palette. Yeah, so this one, the one from the palette is much more bronzy, and this one has some like berry tone to it. Finally, I'm going to be swatching the matte. This is the matte from Fire Rose. Excuse the crazy nail. And then this is the matte from the new palette, the Bejewelled palette. Oh, so let me do a second swatch because I won't. So these two are pretty similar. They don't swatch the best, but I think these are actually very similar. So I think this palette has the most similarity with the Fire Rose quad, because we have very similar matte and a very similar prime shade. Now these ones are not the same, but I think you could get a look with this palette that is similar to the Fire Rose quad, except for the pop shades, since this one does not contain any pop shades. Now I'm going to be comparing it with a Pillow Talk palette. I'm going to be swatching this matte. I'm going to be swatching this prime shade here, and I think that's all. I think that's all these ones that I think they're similar to the Fire Rose quad. Let's start with the matte from the palette, the Pillow Talk palette. Oh, this swatch is really nice. And this is the Fire Rose matte. I think this one is more brownish. Now you can see that it's more brownish. This one is more red. Now I'm going to be swatching the prime shade from the Pillow Talk palette. Okay, so immediately I can tell that it's not going to be the same, because the one from Fire Rose is more pinkish and it swatches so nicely. Yeah, so this one is more pinkish, this one is very champagne. Now with the Starry Eyes, which is this one here, I'm going to be swatching this prime shade, and this matte over here. This is Starry Eyes. Swatches very nicely as well, and this is the Fire Rose quad. Now this is a prime shade from Starry Eyes. This is the other prime shade from Starry Eyes, which is this one over here. And now I'm going to swatch it with the prime shade from the Fire Rose Quad. Fire Rose Quad, and these two are from the Starry Eyes palette. So these two, I think they're kind of similar, but this one has a very nice shine to it, which I think it's very pretty. Finally, I'm going to compare Charlotte Darling, which is this palette here, with the Fire Rose Quad. I'm going to be swatching just the prime shades because I think they're the only ones that can be similar. So I'm going to be swatching these two prime shades here. And I'm going to be swatching this one and compare with the enhanced shade, even though this one seems more pinky in tone, but I'm going to swatch it anyways. So this is the prime shade from Charlotte Darling. The second prime shade from Charlotte Darling. And this one here is from Fire Rose Quad. I think they are different. This one is lighter. This one is a little darker, and this one is even darker than the other ones. Now, this is from Charlotte Darling, and I'm going to be comparing it with the enhanced shade from Fire Rose Quad. Okay, this one is brown, this one is more reddish, pinkish in tone, as I thought it was gonna be. Okay, so now I'm going to be doing the makeup look. I'm going to be taking the smoke shade on a reference Wayne Goss number 19. I'm gonna apply it on the outer corner. And I do like using my fingers to apply the metallic shades, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this shade over here, which is called Enhance. I'm gonna apply it all over my lid. Now with this by Mario E5 brush, I like using this one for small details. I'm going to be picking the prime shade, which is this one over here, on my inner corner. I'm also going to be applying it on my brow bone. Like that. And now with my finger again, because I do like using my finger for all these metallic shades on my lid, I'm going to be taking the pop shade, this one over here, starting with a little bit and adding it right on the middle. Now I'm going again with the same Wayne Goss brush, taking the matte shade and adding a little bit more because I want this to be a little darker. Now for the lower lash, I'm going to be taking this one. I love this one to use it for the lower lash. It's a Luxie 111. Taking the matte shade, tap, and applied it here. I'm taking a little bit more of that and adding it out here because I like this part too much with my lower lash, like the intensity to be the same. Taking now this Sigma brush E39 and I'm going to be buffing it a little bit out. Just like that. Now with this Sigma brush, it's a pencil one. I'm going to be taking the enhanced shade, which is this one over here, and applying it on my lower lash, which is the middle part. And I'm going to try to swipe a little bit more and then take the prime shade and adding it here, the pop shade, and putting it down here where I previously put the enhanced shade, just so it matches the one on top here. Okay, so this is the makeup look as of right now. I'm going to be finishing my other eye, putting some eyeliner, mascara, and I'll be right back. So this is the final makeup look and what I came up with. Hey guys, so my final thoughts on this palette, it's that this palette is so gorgeous. I love the eye look it came up with. This new pop formula, super pop formula, it is very new. It's nothing compared to the other pop shades, since the other pop shades, as you saw in the swatches, were very thin, very sheer, more like a topper. This one has like a good impact, but in a way the pop shades, the previous ones, were more glittery, and this one is more like, has a shine to it, but it's not glittery, which I love. I much rather have this kind of shine than just glittery shine. That's just my personal preference. And also these ones are so much creamier than the other ones, especially this prime shade over here. They're it's very buttery, which is very nice, works very nicely, glides very nicely, and shines very nicely. This matte shade, the swatches, it seems like it doesn't really blend that much, but it was very easy to blend, and I really appreciate that. So this quad, I think, has to become one of my favorite quads so far. I of course have to maybe try it even more, but so far I am absolutely loving it. I think the one that was the closest to it was actually the new Bejewelled palette, Bejewelled Eyes to Hypnotize palette, but it does not have the super pop, which I think that's what makes this quad so special. This quad is limited edition, but I really hope she makes it permanent, because this is one of the best quads I've tried from her, and I absolutely adore this quad. Like, in my opinion, everyone should get it. It's just that good. I can't say anything else, but I just absolutely love it. So this is all for the video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.